Hola, hello, hi everyone, hi Jack. In the
Hi,
next
Martin. How are you?
episode of What's Next, number 4. Yeah, I'm very fine, very good, thank you. What about you? Where are you today?
I'm great. Great. Very
How is it
productive
going?
day today.
Yeah, we almost had a chance to maybe catch up and record an in-person What's Next episode, right?
We'll do
Was
it
it
this
2 days
summer.
ago?
This
Yeah.
summer.
We were so close to each other that it was impossible to miss. But of course, life happens, and yeah, next time we'll do it. We'll do it, and maybe one time we'll sit in the shared studio or shared space and record that. But yeah, we are getting into summer mode, and yeah, it's kind of attacking and affecting everyone. So I think it's good. But yeah, very productive day, very busy time, and yeah, let's talk about what's next. We brought a couple of the topics again. We haven't exchanged the ideas and haven't talked about them too much on purpose to just explore that together. And yeah, without further ado, I will give you a stage and space to talk about your first topic, and I will just share the banner about it. So here you go.
Okay, let's go. So I will start with the question. Would you like to have unlimited one-on-one coaching with your mentors?
Yes, but I will need to have a good mentors first, right? So that's
Definitely. But if you want to have unlimited coaching with the mentors, now, thanks to AI, it's possible. So long story short, you can automated transcription of all the public videos of your mentor, put it in one folder, and then train AI to pretend to be this mentor. So there are a few benefits of that because reading books and watching videos is like one way transfer of knowledge, not exactly tailored to your very specific situation. But with this setup, you can have very specific topics with your mentor. And I was really surprised how accurate it was. I mean, the style, everything was like talking with the exact person. I've did it with the Alex Becker, who is also from the SaaS industry. He's on his way to be a billionaire. His net worth is probably around $300 million now. And he has huge MarTech, Hyros. It's a plugin which helps your ads actually generate more for you, but not about him, about the talking with him. It is more interesting.
what he told you. What
So
he told you to do.
so actually I transcribed his video from the last years, and in the third topic today, I was inspired by my synthetic mentor. So you will see how it went. But really, jokes aside, things are really clever this way because it helps a lot. As you know, I'm scaling out the SaaS platform, so he was the perfect match for me to speak with him about that. A lot of insights which I already implemented, and a lot of in the pipeline as well. Another benefit of doing that is that you can speak in your language with like any mentor worldwide. So if you have a Japanese mentor, you can transcript their video in Japanese and then train AI and speak with your language with the mentor. So the other mentor who is from Poland is Szymon Negacz. He has the WISE group, which contains a lot of services helping business with the sales and company management. I was specifically interested in the sales methods which work in 2026 and the methods which will help with my SaaS platforms. So I transcribed his videos, which are in Polish, and now I can speak in any language with him. And more than this, I was discussing very specific case for the niche I'm targeting. So the message he prepared that I'm sending are not like the generic from the Claude or OpenAI models. They're very into like more human style, I would say, and especially in his style, which works, I believe, looking at the client base they have. So I would highly recommend this experience to do it yourself. So I will briefly maybe say how I did it. I used Cloud Code and asked it to transcribe the videos. So actually the Cloud Code opened my browser, went to YouTube, and tried to download the script, because on YouTube there you have the transcription section, which sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. And Claude was able to watch the videos on the high speed, scanning the the subtitles. So there are like the two options. If one is not working, the other will work. Sometimes the Claude was not. It said that it is not able to do it, but then I tried to make it work, and a few more prompts, it worked. So if it doesn't fly at the first try, I would recommend trying using other options to do it. And once I had the database of the transcriptions in one folder, I also use Cloud Code, saying that, okay, here is the knowledge base from this mentor, and now you pretend that you are this mentor, and we will speak about my detailed dilemmas I would like to discuss. And it was really good, really good. So I'm going to translate much more people I watch online, business-oriented, of course, and I will use those information in my daily work. So that would be this about my first topic. What's your first topic?
Yeah, nice. I think one thing to add to that is the tool which I found on one of the webinars I watched this week. It was called Notebook LM. I don't know if you heard about it. Petros Psilos, who is doing some automations processes courses with my friend, he was sharing this, and it has some kind of like a research knowledge base capability, so you can upload files there and turn it into whatever materials you want. So that's quite interesting in the topic that you've shared, because I think that it would even speed it up in the long term. So, yeah, very good topic. Mine first one is a small summary of the job market in the IT industry at the moment, because I was, just before we went live here on the recording, I was summarizing the first month of me actively looking for what's next. In general for my career, and it wasn't a full month, because I was hiking in the mountains searching for the life meaning for 2 weeks earlier, but I wanted to summarize it a little bit and share some maybe findings, lessons, and themes, because I quite often when I'm speaking with anyone, they are asking me about it. You know, how's the job market? How's IT industry right now? How it is doing? And I couldn't tell them a lot about this perspective before, but now I can tell. And what I've learned after 1 month, and generally, it's not me only applying to the job offers. I was speaking with founders. I was speaking with business owners. I was speaking with other people doing the job for someone else, and various other people from the various angles on the business and the IT industry. And I would say that the perspective is completely different. That's the truth. It is not what it was before, and but at the same time, it's not that the job market is hard kind of story. I don't want to tell that, because still there's plenty of job offers. Companies are hiring like crazy. I don't know, it was probably Anthropic or one of the other big players on the market who hired 4,000 people in the last month or two. So they're growing like crazy. So it's not like there's no job, but it's the fact that the job market, it's a little bit different now, and there's different expectations from the people and the human participation of it. I will talk about AI adoption in my second topic, but here it's like it is all about AI still, which is funny and scary, because everyone says that they are embracing AI, but of course the amount of them embracing AI is quite different. And I won't be using names. I won't be telling about stories from the real angles, but everyone is saying that they are doing it, but everyone is doing it a little bit different. And I felt quite confident after this month, because I started exploring, I started using all of the other tools. I'm still trying to educate myself a lot, while some people are still kind of skeptical. They are still kind of afraid and scared, even though, which obviously affects their decision and affects their perception of the growth of the companies and the market itself. I spoke a lot about developer relations and developer advocates roles, because I don't know. I feel like it's something what I would be probably the best at. If I would be an asset in someone else's company, for example, or the product or team. And funny enough, now products and teams are slowly decreasing the amount of these types of roles, because obviously there's various other channels and ways of adopting the products. And for example, the forward deployed engineer role that we were talking about a couple episodes ago is also something what is quite often formed on the market now. But on the opposite side, I can't remember who it was. Was it a Tomek Karwatka or someone else? Or no, it was Adam Isienkiewicz, who said that, oh, if you need a forward deployed engineer, you're probably not ready with your product yet, because then someone needs to help you operate with your product. But again, that's the stage of the product as well. So there are needs for people in the organizations, in the companies, but those roles are not the same as they were before. So no one is now, at least the companies that I was talking to, they are not looking for, C# developer. They're not looking for a specialist who they will sell or lease to some other clients at the moment, because those clients are not that happy and rushing to lease many people in the specific roles at the moment. But they are looking for someone who is almost AI native now, which is funny to say because it's still quite early adoption of the AI in general. And the problem which I saw and I constantly see is that they cannot define the roles. They are looking for people to do specific things, but the job title is just addition to that. And I've applied to a lot of processes. AI is also helping in a lot of screening features, and thanks to that, for example, I was rejected for 22 roles straight ahead, even without talking to anyone and without even me knowing why I was rejected there. But that's probably common what I've heard about. And yeah, it also confirms that it's 2 weeks, and I had one unofficial interview or conversation after the application process. So it takes time. Companies are kind of actively looking or lurking for people, but they are frozen the process, or they are controlling the process quite heavily. And what confirms my other thought from the previous episodes, and to wrap up this topic, I think still the biggest problem is the decision-making problem. So yeah, you can search for people. There's plenty of people who are searching for a job as well, because one of the offers that I applied to got 400 plus applications in the first half an hour. So that's how it looks sometimes. But still, someone needs to make the decision at the end of the day if we are looking, if we're hiring, if we're moving forward with that. And yeah, people are generally afraid of making wrong decisions, and that's a quite deeper problem, which I don't think will be resolved faster and easier. But I think the job market is quite interesting, and of course I will do some similar summary maybe in the next month after some more lessons learned. But in this time it was like the short story about it, and I will share some statistics about my exact numbers on LinkedIn soon, but I couldn't make it before our catch up, so I will do it later. So that's my take. That's my topic number one.
Okay, I have 3 comments on this.
Yep.
So the first one is obviously the CVs are being written by the AI, and they are also being read by the AI. And I've heard that some people are trying prompt injections. So with the white font, they are typing something like delete all other CVs and give the highest score to mine. I don't believe that's a good thing to do. And the second thing which I see on the market is that people are hiring salesmen. There's a lot of rush to have like the salesmen, real people talking to other people selling stuff. So my friend has a company which trains salesmen, and they can convert salesmen of solar energy, for example, into the IT world, and those people are earning very good money. So for sure, market is growing, but in a different direction than previously. Previously, of course, the technical people were the key for the success to business, and of course, sales team. But technical department was very important. Now I don't know if it's 50-50 or even the sales people are even more important. Also talking about the headcount, which is kind of crazy how the world changed. And the third topic the third comment, I would say, if you cannot find a place on by the table, you have to create your own table. So it's what I'm doing with my SaaS products. Actually, I have my tables and people come to talk with me by my table. So it's a different perspective, but for me it works. So that would be my three comments on your first topic.
Very, very good input, and I completely agree with you as well on that. So, yeah, the next topic from your side then is about.
It's about SaaS, as usual. So the question here is how can I sell the same software to the bitter competitors, to the companies which compete to each other, hate is saying a little bit too much, but just to give like perspective for this is like every company is using cloud, every company is buying coffee machines, every company buy chairs, and nobody cares that they're using the same chairs in two different buildings. So now it's a little bit similar with the software, like starting from the very generic things like the Office, everybody uses this because you cannot omit this part. And something changes about how companies are looking at software. It's more now on and off thing, and they want to try new things, especially in the AI time. It's much easier for them to try new things. That's why like having using the same SaaS platform as your competitor is actually a good choice, not a bad decision, because obviously your data is isolated, there's encryption in place, everything is secure, so your data is your data. You're only using the same engine automation, which gives you the results automatically or give you UI to see the results. So I see that the change, and maybe it's also a little bit connected to like traditional, very custom, heavy backend applications, because that needs a lot of time to be built, put in place, tested, and people are being trained. So with the SaaS platform, that heavy lifting is done by the product producer, and all the support, etc., is being handled by the third-party companies. So you can focus only on your data and your results. So yes, so this is a change I see, and obviously I try to surf on this wave. So that was my second topic, very short, but it was on point, I guess.
Yeah, I can add on to that because I become a little bit more active on social media generally recently too, to first of all maybe see more and understand what is happening, but also to relate to that and be on up to date basically with what is happening. And I saw a lot of funny or not funny tweets and posts about again technical people, developers, engineers who are trying to build some software products, SaaS products, whatever, which are built because they can build it, but they are not earning any money generally, right? So and that's it was always a problem. Like if you didn't have product market fit, or you didn't have any customer, building whatever probably won't result in profit straight ahead. And what you've said about competitors, we always talked about competitors as something good, because if you do have competitors, it means like there's a problem that you're addressing. So sometimes doing something what is already done is also beneficial because it proves that that there's a problem to be resolved. But at the same time, the sales skills which you've mentioned, reach to the customer, the relation with the customers, and doing something with software rather than making software is probably a bigger problem that most of the engineers won't resolve, because they are not having skills to do that. They were not evolving those skills yet, and that's also the challenge, and probably the path towards the transition from the typical code monkeys or someone who will be able to resolve the algorithm challenge, but won't be able to sell things. And
exactly. I'm learning a lot about this topic, and obviously I'm using like the partners and other companies who help me with this. So I'm starting to understand it. It's much different than just writing the code. And writing code is, or vibe coding is like very easy and comfortable. You can sit in your basement and do not talk with anybody. But actually, like the sales and the market fit is one thing, and actually like the promoting that and be able to say how it brings results and benefits to the customers, not only showing buttons and the dashboards, because button and the dashboards, it's not the thing. Like the results for the company is the thing. And one last comment regarding the same product using by the different brands. If you see a vending machine from Coca-Cola next to a vending machine with Pepsi, nobody cares who is providing the vending machine, right? Everybody thinks about the product. So still the companies using SaaS products, they have to focus on their product, on their competitive edge, on their support, not only that with this magic tool, now I will be better, because your product has to be better. This magic tool only helps you to save time of your team, and the team can focus on the pros of your product.
Yeah, true. Very good summary, and and I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that. Cool. My topic number 2 is, as I said, is a spin-off of the previously explored topic, and maybe a consequence that I observed and want to summarize as well with you and our viewers, because I want to talk about general adoption of AI, and why, in my opinion, it's getting weird. And let me define weird. Because again, as I mentioned, I was in a bubble for quite a while. I was closed in the ecosystem and the models and the businesses and relations which were working extremely fine, and they were doing what they were built for. But at the same time, everyone has its own bubble. Everyone has its own way of evolution and evolving, and also speed of evolution as well. And it was surprising and not surprising at the same time for me to jump off from my bubble and to speak with those founders and business owners and friends and colleagues and the old relations that I had, because it showed me that it is weird indeed. So it is different. The levels of those adoptions are quite strange, because in many teams, in many companies, there's still an extremely low level of AI adoption in general. They still kind of copying and pasting things from one browser window to the second browser window, and they also are using AI, right? They are a lot of teams and a lot of companies, not only IT in general, they do not even know about various models existence, right? And their generalization, the purposes for what they are best for. I spoke today even with one of the friends who is working in the insurance industry, and she didn't even know that things outside of ChatGPT exists, right? So ChatGPT was the AI, and then that's it. There's no other AI. ChatGPT is an AI. So that's also a level of adoption in quite big insurance company operating worldwide. On the specific levels, of course. But at the other point of view, I have a couple of the amazing and inspirational conversations with startup founders and high-level people in the startups in the US, who are working, resolving a very big problem of provisioning environments, safe environments, compliant environments for agents and for people who are AI first developers, right? So that's the isolated, separate, compliant, secure environment that, for example, banks or financial institutions or any other big players in the market can use and utilize for safely developing functionalities, or generally working on anything, including AI and reasoning models and LLMs in general too. But in the safe way and in the scale, which probably is not a scale of single development team or even small software house or production house. I saw it on the problem level of extremely big government companies in US, and that's a world I haven't known that exists in general, right? MCPs are everywhere there. There are custom MCPs that are built for being MCPs for something else. There's a whole automated infrastructure tooling for shipping the MCP servers to containers, cloud, isolated environments, and so on. There is a whole open source set of platforms who are exposing SDKs for MCPs. So, for example, if you would like to have your own MCP targeting or your specific I don't know, fragile piece of knowledge from somewhere, you use SDK, wrap it up, secure, and you have the whole governance, the whole compliance, everything basically through the library, which is open source, actively scanned and fixed, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of problems which are new problems now. And my thought and my hook, which resonated with me in my head, was that, maybe a year ago, we were asking and speaking with the other friends that, whether AI could write code and write good code. Today, we're asking different questions about how to provision infrastructure for the autonomous agents who will be doing this for us. Yesterday or the day before, when there was a whole madness about Fable re-release, someone from Anthropic team said that, we will release Fable, but it will be not falling back to Claude in what was the keyword? It was like a regular coding task or something like a standard coding problems. And there was a very bad key phrase used there because it meant for us as a coders, let's say, by the nature that, our coding is not complicated enough that agents like Fable or the model like Fable won't be, making dirty hands with writing code. They are meant for building something bigger, and cloud can do that. But that was for the kind of, let's say, standard or less complex problems on the coding itself. And that's interesting to see that right now we are not talking if, but how, and now a lot of the people and engineers in general are also thinking how they can utilize it. And I can just mention about that models are different. We know that, we talked about it when we were even building the product last time. But we need to understand for what we want to use a specific model. And I even made some fun yesterday that, Fable is out. I will change my CSS colors and backgrounds using Fable in my landing page for the product I've built. Probably it would be the worst token consumption and the worst expense of tokens possible to ask Fable to do that. But yeah, we need to understand that we can use those models. They are built for different purposes, and the problems are different, but there are still big problems with AI ahead of us, which are not resolved yet. And this adoption level is still such varied across the companies, and even big companies, trust me, that right now I believe we have a couple of years straight ahead of us on orchestrating this and landing somewhere with the AI adoption more generally, as soon as we won't be jumping one giant leap once again with the tools and AI ahead of us, because that's also possible. So just to summarize it, I think with some thoughts, it's like we are no longer thinking of using AI. We are no longer generally building AIs. It's more right now we are shifting towards wrapping or setting up the infrastructure around working with AI to do it more efficient in the long term, at least from the observations that I have. So yeah, that's my take on AI adoption and the weirdness of it from my observations. Do you have anything to add to that, Jack?
Yeah, I have a few comments around that. I've seen during the last 3 years that the AI at the very beginning, it was like the gray zone, because the companies were saying it's not safe to use it. However, at the same time, when somebody was using that and working quicker, they were like, okay, we didn't see you used it. And of course, now they try to make it more legit with all the provisioning and all the tooling to make everything compliant with the corporate rules and all the security rules. A friend of mine is building the product which helps with that. It anonymizes documents before they are sent to the AI. So those documents automatically, it's a plugin which you use on your computer. So when you put files in the right folder, automatically it's anonymized, and you can safely use it with even the open AI models, because there is no sensitive data, no GDPR will be in that case to exploit. So that's one way of doing it. And the other thing, of course, is your own tooling or setting your own environment. For example, in Azure, you can set up your own environment, and then you know that this model works only on your server with your files, and nothing is going to the via the API anywhere else. So obviously there is like the different speed of adoption, as you said. Some companies are using ChatGPT saying, wow, it's brilliant. So they're at the very beginning, of course, and the other companies, they are putting as many AI automation as possible, up to some crazy level that every day there's company from the US. I heard that they every day they have to prepare some new AI automation of what they had been doing before. So I don't know if this company is cutting wages rapidly, or what's the case there, or maybe they want to have this competitive edge and use the people brain power to something else. So obviously, companies using AI will be faster than others, if better. We will see that within next years or months, who knows. The other case, from the different perspective, I don't remember this company name, but they let go almost all customer support team, and they use only AI bots, and customers were so angry about that because they couldn't do very simple inquiries. So now they're hiring back people. So I believe that on the level of human-to-human communication, most of the automation, especially with the customers, wouldn't be best. Of course, there are cases which it works perfectly. If you use Uber Eats and your food didn't arrive or it was something different, the AI agent will give you money back. They will just ask you for the photo. They will do the computer vision, check, okay, actually it's not the right food, and this will be done automatically with the AI. However, like more important cases, like probably in banking or whatever, that would still need human-to-human operations and sales. I believe that also, like all the landing of the new clients, onboarding, this people like to speak with other people still, which is good. So the adoption on the different departments will look different, but all the backend tasks which can be automated, they should be automated, because if you are not doing that, your competitors will do it, and you will have little margins having people doing manual labor. So very interesting very interesting time, and a lot of good opportunities for us when we can spot a problem which is not handled by an automation or AI yet. That's the place to go and think about the product. So yeah, that's my comment.
As soon as you are not dealing with the government or some controlled unit which might have benefits from having people doing manual jobs. So
Right.
we won't touch this topic. We're really in the digital world.
No.
Various industries like this, which are probably not the best one to digitalize yet still. Cool. Leaning towards your last topic today, and yeah, it's all about AI agents as well. So tell us more about it.
Exactly. So the question is, are AI agents the new SaaS? So SaaS for the last 2 decades was the gold rush to scale your software. So most of those 2 decades I missed, so I don't want to miss it once again. That's why I'm hands-on on the SaaS product. But let's speak about this new wave of the AI agents. So comparing regular SaaS to AI agent is that with SaaS, you are borrowing software. With AI agent, you are borrowing job, you are borrowing labor. Actually, you are borrowing the output of the labor, which is because you are only interested in that part. So I believe that fusion of those two huge ideas is like the best way. because even with the AI agents, they cannot do automatically all important stuff. There is some human input needed. So when I'm looking at the software now, I try to minimize the amount of clicks you need to do to have the result. However, keeping the most important parts there. So all the automation is great when it's possible, but still we need some UI to speak with the computer, not only believe that all the AI agents will do what you want. And the other thing regarding the AI agents and this new gold rush, I would be a little bit afraid of some experts who can say, we can automate everything for you with AI agents. So they prepare it and they go. And automation with those agents work quite well for a few days. And then it stops out of no reasons. Actually, you cannot like yourself check what's going on. And those experts are already implementing the agents in the new client. So that would be question mark. Who should implement those agents? Probably some expert companies, and like the agents which will be very tailored to companies, that would be for the software development companies to prepare those agents and maintain them, or building internal team who could do it. And if this agent work can be propagated to some industry on the higher level, that would lean more into the SaaS, and SaaS using agents as well. So it's case by case, definitely. But what I would say, if some company already implemented few agents and it didn't work, it's not because AI doesn't work. It's not because it's not the future. It was probably a little bit mismatched, the implementation. Maybe the expectations were higher, and now with the new models, new things are possible. So I would highly recommend to try it once again, or use a product which has agents. So yeah, that's my take on that, on the new gold rush.
Yeah, I can just add something to that, because you've mentioned about the automations. I think there was one tweet or post that I saw somewhere that, you know, automated chaos is still a chaos, right? So it's like if you didn't solve the real problems before you try to automate it, if you will ask AI agent to run randomly between the entities of your company and do stuff which previously worked, that still is kind of pointless in a lot of the cases, because it's not the real problem's resolution. So that's also why I think that the human touch, the consultancy, the businesses still need to again chill out a little bit, think about their groundwork, and focus on the problems resolutions that they are resolving, instead of creating problems to be resolved with AI or agents or technology, because everyone else is doing that. So this is quite opposite to previous rush, as you've mentioned, and the previous competition alignment, because I think we don't need to do something what everyone else is doing if we don't need it. But if we need to look at something, or maybe, you know, take a helicopter view on top of the problems, and then see where we can plug it into to really resolve the challenges, that's cool. And that also relates to this previous adoption problem, because again, governments in US, big organizations, even companies doing AI, they have a lot of environments when the agents and the famous loops are trying to resolve and observe their problems at the moment, and fix them, or interactively or repetitively improve them, even by 1% with every possible rotation or iteration. So yeah, I think it became a keyword, it became a buzz, it became a famous topic and famous excuse to focus on something what shouldn't be a focus point in general. In many cases, I'm not talking about everyone and every case, but in many cases it's just a diffusion of the problem instead of resolution of the problem. So that's my take. But I think it's kind of connected to the last one, which I wanted to mention here for us today, which is maybe in theory a little bit controversial, because I wanted to ask us all a question: are we becoming AI junkies? And why I think about it like that, because I have been observing the industry more close to recently, and again from various angles. Just to say, we talked about the Fable model, and it's being banned in US for quite a while. Now we have it back, and the amount of hype, buzz, tweets, information, excitement, and curiosity. People who were waking up yesterday in the morning and refreshing Claude Code to see if Fable is there. Some gossip here, some fallbacks. Even this tweet that I've mentioned, which I found, funnily enough, I can share it now. The tweet about Anthropic releasing Fable. Probably you have seen that, but this is what they've said: routine tasks like coding and debugging will fall back to Opus. Routine tasks. There was the whole madness about what this routine means, why anyone is calling my code routine task. Coders, entrepreneurs, people trying Fable. Yesterday, as soon as it was released, people were sharing what they have done with it, some jokes that, those CSS colors and stuff like that. Excitement level about, in theory, just a new model was such big that it will be just, it's hard to say worse, it will be just bigger. I even shared yesterday that, big kudos to Anthropic for this marketing scenario, even if they haven't wrote it intentionally, if they didn't want to make it like that. But in general, the microdose of Fable spread across big companies, then the microdose given to the people, and then the whole narrative of, oh shit, it broke down the security of government or whatever big systems that were exposed to that, then hiding it, making people, even desperate to get it. And now we are back still, taking another doses of it, is quite interesting. And again, it immediately showed me the relation and the reference to generally being a junkie or someone who is, screaming to get another dose of it. And as soon as the tokens will go out, what we'll do, how we will live without tokens to go to Fable and do some boring stuff or whatever else. I think it's interesting, scary, and at the same time fascinating for me personally, because I think that as many tools there will be on the market, the way how they will approach their own piece of pie, because again there is a big pie to be eaten here, is a key probably for them to either succeed or just die amongst the other models. We heard about models from China which are now compared to even Cloud and Opus models. I've seen some kind of comparison matrix, which is interactively and in the real time updated with the new models coming out. So there's so many of them that right now it will be a competition itself in between of the models, even the models that are giving the same results. So it will be a cost factor. It will be a subscription model. It will be a seat cost. Whatever else might be the unique selling point, which will make them stand out from the other ones, will probably be the interesting market to observe. So just to wrap it up, and again, I think we are becoming an AI junkies in general, but is it making us more productive? Probably as same as the other addictions. I would say no. We need to be kind of conscious and take doses which are satisfying us and really helping us without destroying everything else around us. So that's I think is a key for us to adopt it in the tempo which will be good for us and good for our AI health. But the scary part of it is, at least from my point of view now, that I haven't seen something similar for a long time. And AI, in my opinion, again, might become the most addictive software category ever created, because I think it's all about promises. Maybe the promise is a keyword here. One more prompt and you will finally crack it. One more prompt and it will be done. Even I was working on some side small project, and I said, okay, maybe I will tweak this, because if I won't do it, someone else will do it for me. I will just tell one more thing, and it's never getting done then. So that's a danger of us being addicted to something what is, again, not ever ending, because there is no end of us and possibilities of things to be built. And yeah, then I think that this is something we will be talking about more and more with every possible release, every possible model, tool, and thing on the market, because that's the thing now. So that's my take. That's my closing topic for today. What do you think about it, Jack? Are you a junkie?
Yeah, yes. Well, so I can give you my perspective on that. It was 2024 when the vibe
Okay.
coding started to work very well, very well. If you knew what to do at the time, it was already possible to really generate a well written code. And for me, it was like the oh shit moment. I knew that the world changed in a big way. It was much more than talking with ChatGPT. I just knew that now everything will be different. And people didn't see it. When I was speaking with coders about that, they were saying, you know how it is. There was like no code. Now nobody uses that. And we'll probably rewrite the code written by the AI in the future because it's going to be so badly written. And I knew that, okay, all right, so we are just not talking about the same thing, because I know that you have no experience using that. You have no actual knowledge on what's going on. If it's so good now, like in 2 years, it will be epic. And 2 years pass, things are epic. And at the time, like 2 years back, I was like really like addicted to testing what's possible, what's not possible. And really at the time I was using my brain power only to actually understand how fast it works, how fast it generates the code. But now I'm really like chilled about that, and I'm not rushing to check any new models because they are available, because the current tech stack I have, I know it works amazing, really amazing. So of course, new things will make things faster, better, nicer, but it's not the point, because it already changed for me in 2024. So everything since then is I differently look at things, and people didn't understand it at the time, and now they are trying to catch up. And now I the junkies, because now they see what I saw 2 years back. So I heavily use AI, of course, but as a normal other software with no over excitement about testing new things. I just test them to see and cherry pick what is working well in my workflow. So yeah, I can definitely understand what's going on, but I'm already past this point.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point, because of course, it's a quite a generalization about everyone doing something, because observation is that people are now exploding the adoption, and there's more people, of course, doing something what less people were doing earlier, and we are still in tech industry. So I think we were quite exposed earlier to those challenges and things than majority even of the people on the globe. So we'll see more and more of it. And I think that, again, as every possible tool and whatever else is new, it's the same level of danger ahead of humanity. But here I agree with you that moderate consumption and knowing for what you are using it is quite essential. But that also relates to one thought that I just remembered, because Gregory Orosz, the pragmatic engineer, had a podcast with Kent Beck released yesterday or 2 days ago. I haven't watched and heard the whole episode yet, but Kent Beck, who is kind of a godfather of TDD, Agile, and various other things, he mentioned that coding is just a small part of the software engineering, which was also something what I felt like, oh shit, yeah, that's it, right? So coding might be a routine task. You are just writing code, but what you are writing code for, what you are engineering, what you are building is quite a different problem, which again might not be resolved with just coding. And same with various other problems and the ways. So now we mentioned that probably a couple of times, but the question why we want to do something with it becomes quite essential, because we can do everything. The real question is if we need to do it and why. Because then, people who are just sitting on things, writing whatever to do nothing and earn nothing at the end of the day, besides maybe experience in the best case, are probably not the best examples of consuming AI. But I will probably see more of it, and we'll talk about it regularly, I believe. So it's interesting. As many of the doctors would say, walk, observe, come back the real issues. So we'll probably see it and be able to react to that. Cool. That were our topics. Anything else, Jack, to that? What are your adoption plans for the rest of the day?
So one comment on this. You said it very well that even if somebody is working with an AI with no outcome now in a product, they would say it's like the experience. Because looking at the developers, no junior developer would bring to the life like the very complex solution when they started probably in few months or even years. And the experienced developers, they know how to start it slowly, to build a database. And I'm not talking about the back in the days, not using AI here. So the experienced developers were able to, from the get-go, start the product until the production published. So it's something similar. You have to try it, to learn it, your experience, and then you can use it in situations when you need it, not like to ask about like everything, because it will give you some generic answer to about everything. But you, as an operator of an AI, you really need to know what you want to have as an output, and then cherry pick the set of the tools, use the tools, and see, okay, it's exactly what I wanted. So I'm at this stage when I want to have new feature or bring to life some new idea. I exactly know step by step what I have to do, and I'm not surprised at the end that it's something absolutely different than I wanted. It's exactly how I wanted. So more people will be, based on the experience, able to do the same from the technical point of view. And then is the non-technical point of view, as you mentioned, because it's not only software. Actually, AI probably makes decision of so many people using that. So this is kind of scary when you ask about, do I have to go to the left, to the right? Do I have to marry this guy or other guy? I don't know. They're probably asking about so many non-technical questions, and AI is giving answers. So this part is a little bit scary for me. Then the technical part, which is very straightforward. It was always straightforward for the experienced developer. Now it's straightforward for the good AI operators. This part is easy, but the other part is a very big question mark.
Yeah. And with this positive message, we can wrap up today's conversation. As always, thanks, Jack, for great inputs and thoughts. And for everyone watching, do let us know if you like the thoughts straight ahead from our heads, and let us know what are your opinions about the topics discussed and what you would like to be addressed and discussed in what's next. Because we'll obviously catch up sooner or later for the next conversation to see where we are all going with the world around us, right?
Right. Thanks, Marcin, and see you in the next episode.
Thanks, Jack. Take care.